Hi everyone! Today we are going to talk about writer's block. Now this can be a huge thing for writers. I know it can feel so distressing. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to work through writer's block so it doesn't get you held up. And sometimes it's part of the process. So we're going to talk about that too. But the first thing to remember when you have writer's block, when it just feels so oppressive and so constricting, remember to give yourself grace. Everyone gets stuck from time to time, and it's really it's really easy to beat ourselves up and be really hard on ourselves and say, why aren't you writing? You're a writer, you love to write, why aren't you doing it? Sometimes you just need to give yourself grace. Just know that everyone gets stuck, and then hopefully one of these tips or more will help you work through the writer's block so you can get back to writing like you really want to. Okay, so the first one is to step away. Sometimes it's just not working. And instead of infuriating yourself more because you're trying to get all of the words in and trying to get things down, sometimes you just need to step away and do something else, like cleaning your house or organizing your closet or whatever it is you can do, like a date night with your spouse. Whatever it is, just help step away. It can help to step away from the manuscript and help you to get a clearer picture. It helps you kind of reset. So number two is to write poorly. Sometimes you just need to get the kind of crud out of your brain and write bad. I don't want to say bad, but write words that are probably going to be terrible that you probably will either get rid of or have to edit profusely, but that's okay. Sometimes it helps just to write poorly until you can get back into the flow of writing well. And that's perfectly fine. That's what the editing process is for. So if that's helpful for you, that might be a good option. Number three is to write something else. Sometimes you're stuck on the manuscript itself and you just need to try a different manuscript. And sometimes this can be really helpful. It can feel frustrating because this is the book I want to get out next. This is the one I want to get done. I want to get it out to readers. And that can definitely it can make us feel bad sometimes about that. But again, give yourself grace. That's one of the most important things in this whole process. And if you work on something in another project, sometimes even just temporarily, it can help clear your brain and clear kind of all those cobwebs, maybe give you some clarity and allow you to have the space to just create freely without any external obligations that you're maybe putting on yourself because you know what book you want to release next and you're working on this. I did this myself. I was feeling like I was forced to work on the third book in my series, and while I love it and I still love it and I'm really excited to get it out, but I also know that it's not quite the right time. And so I actually am following my muse and I started writing another book, this completely different series, different world, everything. It's completely opposite of like almost anything I've ever written. But it's really fun and I'm exploring that. And so that allows me to get whatever headspace is kind of like holding me back in that original series so that I can clear all of that out. And then once I feel like I'm ready again to dig back into that the original series, and get that out, I still fully intend to do that, but it just needs to be in the right timing. And so giving myself grace again, and then just allowing myself to explore and have fun with the creative process again is really important. Number four is to draw inspiration from other creative work. Sometimes you need to fill up your cup instead of pulling it out. Maybe that's like the opposite direction here. But sometimes it's just helpful to consider getting like stories in and getting inspiration from that. So maybe it's helpful to read books, watch some movies, binge your favorite TV show, even getting into video games or reading comic books if that's your thing. There's a lot of different avenues to embrace story and bring those in, and sometimes you just need to have that inspiration. It kind of widens your creative space and gives you that space to get more ideas and get new ideas and see things a little bit differently, and maybe that can help unstuck the writer's block. Okay, number five, I think we're on number five, is to create a writing plan. Sometimes it's just a matter of sitting down and doing it. And this can feel daunting. This might not be you though. So if you're like an over planner and it just feels like another obligation to do that, then it might not be the right thing for you. But for some of you, sometimes for me too, is just sitting down and say, no, I want to write every day, or whatever it is that you decide. I'm going to write whatever, and I'm going to write terribly, like we mentioned earlier. That is perfectly okay, but I want to get back into the routine of writing again. And sometimes getting in that routine, especially I've noticed this in my life, when I start writing, I want to write more. And so just getting into that initial habit of writing can really help you get unstuck from all of the, all of the stuff that's blocking you. And number 6 is to find an accountability partner. Someone, maybe an author friend or a sibling or someone that's really supportive of your writing journey. Just someone that will help you, that you can check in with and say, "Ooh, I'm really excited. I wrote 1,500 words today," or "The story is really, really, really exciting for me and I really love it." So all of those things can be really helpful. Someone that will be supportive and just give you that feedback, celebrate with you, even if they're not a writer themselves. It's even more fun when it is, because then you guys can celebrate back and forth and talk about your process and all of that. But it's really fun to be able to have someone that can do that with. So if you are interested in finding an accountability partner like that, I offer that through my coaching services. But also, if you are just stuck in this moment and you just don't know what else to do, I am offering free clarity calls. So it's just a 20 minutes. We'll step on a video call. It'll be low pressure, all of that. But if you're stuck on something, you just need someone to bounce ideas off of, I would love to chat with you. The link is right below, depending on where you're at, or it's in the link in my bio on Instagram. And I would love to just sit down with you, talk through some things, and we can hopefully get you unstuck and get you on the right path. So thank you guys so much for listening. It was a short one today, but I am so glad you're here. Hopefully you found some tips here that'll help you work through that writer's block so you don't get stuck. All right. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.